had an idea to put a show together featuring myself and these women having discussions about trending topics, the world around us, things we've learned along the way, and maybe even dishing a little tea. Welcome to our world.
Folks, that was Quiet by local artist Milk. And that was a dedication to all survivors of sexual assault. We here at Flip the Script believe survivors and want you to know that we're here for you. Tonight, we are joined live in studio by two amazing people who've been in my life for, actually, we were just trying to guess, maybe 2 decades, roughly.
At least.
Beautiful. So joining me tonight, Chela and Maria and Maria Roman from Chela and the Girls Next Door.
Hi, Riku. Hi, thank you for having us.
Thank you. Just so folks know, we go way back in terms of transgender community organizing, activism here in Los Angeles.
Yes, way back.
Yes, way back. Definitely, I feel, if I may, mentored in so many ways by the two of you. So if I may publicly thank you both for everything that you've done for for me and and I acknowledge that I'm saying I'm a little younger, but I mean in terms of your leadership and showing us the way and leading the path for so many years, so many generations of trans people of color here in LA County have known you, have grown up in your homes. And in your offices and in your mobile offices and in your street outreach and all the things that you've been doing for many years. So I just want to humbly pay respect and thank you personally for the contributions you made to my life. Thank you.
Likewise, I think also, we were reminiscing that you've had the show for such a long time, and we want to recognize that too, that you've
definitely
been along our side in this journey as trans people. So
yeah, definitely been a partner,
Yeah.
and so we definitely appreciate you because you are amazing as well.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much. Let me accept that because you also have taught me to accept when we see each other, when we honor each other, and I so accept that. Thank you. Let's talk about the Girls Next Door. This is this is probably like your 3,567th project. You all for real, in terms of production, in terms of community work, you all have been doing so much for so long, and this is just one of many. So I can't stop saying that because I feel like it's important to credit people with their long histories of work, so in community work. So let's talk about the Girls Next Door and how this idea came about and how you started to put things in motion.
let's dish, Miss Chela.
Well, it's really, it's a passion project, and it's really, I feel like everything that I've done has been about being an answer. Every project is a direct answer to a need for our community. And so this one is pretty much the same thing. I thought that it was necessary for us to have a project where we could see trans people, particularly trans people of color, in a more positive light. I thought that we have all sorts of images that are out there about our community, and the majority of them carry a stigma. And so my intention was to create a project that was visual, but also educational, and that it would become a platform for us to not only present ourselves in a more positive light, a more elevated scenario, that we could also use this platform as a way to teach, a way to create awareness. And I think mainly it was about, I know this might not be everyone's thing, but it was about creating something that would resonate with mainstream community. It was about having um, certain images from our cast that would resonate with the world. And it was about saying, well, one of the cast members, one of the Girl Squad members, is more likely going to remind you of one of the women in your life, whether if it's your mom, your grandmother, your aunt, your cousin, or niece. We have one of those Girl Squad members that's going to remind you of that person. And I'm hoping through that creates a sense of compassion, a sense of awareness that says, wow, these women are very much just like the women that I love, the women that are in my family. And so that's how it started.
Thank you. And let's talk about the Girl Squad. Maria, how did you join?
Well, I've known both Shayla and you for God nearly 20 years, and I'm a firm believer that when folks that you trust and work with ask you if you can do something and you have the time, that you just say yes. So she approached me with the idea about doing this project that she had, and I didn't think about it twice. I just said okay, and honestly, it started me not understanding the whole concept, but once I got on set and we started filming, I believe in what Shayla is doing. I believe in the fact that as women and as trans women, we can tell our own stories and create our own narratives, and I wanted to be part of that. And in essence, I'm a firm believer that you put stuff into the universe and you don't know what will happen. I think that there's no small project. I think that in essence you have to get yourself out there and get our stories, and I believe in what she's doing. I believe on the women that are part of this, and in essence, I've been in other projects, but I'm sort of want to be part of more stuff that is created and developed and put out there by our own people versus other individuals are really reaping the benefits of telling our stories. And so that's why I signed on, and I've had a really good time. And like anything, when you get 5 women in a room, schedules and so on, but it's been a fun journey for me. And that's why I'm still, if she asked me, let's go do radio, hey, I'm here. Let's go, especially if she said it's your show.
Oh,
So, yeah.
that's awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And thank you for being here once again. And Maria, what's it like to be in movies and then shift to do, like you mentioned, smaller projects? Just curious what the vibe is like. Like you're hinting at the smaller by us or for us made,
Yeah, of course.
these kinds of projects are speaking to your heart. And I was just curious, like, to contrast, like what would you say are some of the differences for you or in it as an artist?
Well, I think it's interesting because I honestly, whatever came from me in media came as a blessing from the work I was doing. It was not like I ever set out to be in movies or to think of myself that I would be an actor or that I would be on a show. It just happened organically as a blessing of whatever I was involved in. So when big projects happened and I got to be on a show, it was kind of surreal because nothing like that had happened. I was in the show on Showtime called Wild Things, and in this kind of movie that was about this beauty pageant, Fantasia. And that was sort of stuff that I never really set out to look for. And the difference is that I think that I see the shift in media now, not only for myself, but just for trans actors and trans narratives. And I see that we're moving from what I've seen as a younger trans person to sort of the celebrity based sort of focus. which is okay. We all live in, many of us are sort of engulfed in celebrity, but I think this for me is more organic because it is by community and the people that are involved are people that are doing actual work versus sort of this narrative of a platform that is given to people because they have a following or they have a celebrity. This is, Shayla is a person that's been doing actual community work for over almost 20 years, and that to me has more meaningful. Yet, you know, you see individuals, Jasmine Creighton, who's been on TV for God, before I can remember, and well, not before I can remember because we're still same age, but I remember seeing her on so many roles. Yet, you know, she's not as celebrated as some other folks that are newer, and I wonder why. And I think it's sort of this notion of celebrity, whatever that is, that is sort of fueling the rise of certain trans actors and certain people within media. So I value Shayla and her project. I value Jasmine, that I was in her film in full bloom, and that's based by community for community. Not that I won't do other stuff. I was in a recent film by Case Pena, Familia, where I play this prostitute and I play her really well. So I mean, I'm hoping that as trans individuals get to produce their own stuff, that trans actors and people that are now, quote unquote, in the industry will get opportunities.
Yes.
And the roles won't go to the same people. Because we see that only a certain amount of people are being celebrated when there's so many people out there that are talented, and some people that have been doing it for a long time are not really celebrated, which is interesting. I don't know why that is, but I definitely have noticed it.
Jump in on that, Sheila, please.
I totally agree. It's sort of more of like, it's sort of like the high school mentality where it's the popularity game, and I've always been raised that most folks who are popular don't really have much to stand on, and so, like, but I love it. I mean, social media is a part of our world now, and I think that what it's done for us in terms of being advocates, our community warriors, it's just given us another opportunity to learn new mechanisms and learning how to navigate through different platforms. And this is what this show does. It gives us the opportunity to use the experience that we have as providers or as community warriors or stakeholders, but also puts us in the realm of what people see today on television. And so that's our idea, is to mesh what they do like to see on television with a little bit of education and a little bit of our style of the way that we present. So it's a wonderful world, and we've learned so much. I myself, I'm more of a librarian kind of person, so to be in this world of streaming, social media, having to pick up your phone and constantly look on Instagram or Twitter, like that's all new for me. But I've learned so much while doing this project and working with and the great thing about the Girl Squad is it fluctuates. You never know which cast member or Girl Squad member you're going to get, although Maria's pretty much one of the main pillars.
A steady.
She's a steady, but we get to use this platform to introduce other warriors or other members of our community.
Beautiful.
So this isn't our project or my project, it's our project. It belongs to the community.
Thank you. And let's talk about some of the other cast members, but before we do, when does the show, how can people access the show?
Well, right now you can access it on our YouTube. You can do a search for Chela and the Girls Next Door. And also through our agency, the Unique Women's Coalition, you could visit the uwc.org, and there's a link to the Chela and the Girl Squad.
And Chela is Chela.
Yes, Chela.